Today I wanted to answer a question one of you guys had. It was a multi-part question, so I'm gonna be answering it by basically showing you 3 books I'm gilding. The very first part of the question was if you can gild very thin pages, for example, Bible pages. I have a Bible right here. It's a very old and damaged one. So since it's a very old Bible and I'm planning on changing the cover either way, I removed the cover to make it easier on myself to gild. Obviously it's a lot easier to gild when there isn't a hardcover in the way, but I do not recommend doing this way if you are not sure about how to reattach the cover. As you will see in the other part of this video, I will gild one book with the hardcover still attached, so you will see it is possible, but it's a lot trickier to pull off. Alrighty, as always, sand the edges first. With this one, it might take me a little while, so I'll just show you the finished result after sanding. As you can see, I've removed most, if not all, of the damage and discolored edges. Next up, I applied some cornstarch to make sure the pages won't stick too much afterwards. You can also use baking soda or talcum in this step. That's completely up to you. To attach the gilding, I first mixed 1 part water and 1 part PVA glue, so the glue won't be as sticky, and this will help us with separating the pages later on. And now, just as always, cut a piece of gilding foil to size and start ironing it. I'm actually trying out 2 decal irons I bought, so you will see me switching out the irons at some point, because the first one just didn't do as well as I hoped. As I said, just iron on the foil and wait for it to cool, at which point you can gently start removing the film. This might not take the first time, as it happened right here in my case. Don't worry, just sand it again and start over. How well the foil takes also really does depend on the iron you're using. The temperature needs to be just perfect, hot enough to release the foil from the plastic film, but not so hot as to burn the film itself. So with the second iron I tried, it actually worked a whole lot better. You can see it's almost a mirror finish. I just messed up a little bit. In that case, I don't sand it and start all over again. I just layer another piece of foil right over the part that isn't as shiny. If you do this well, you won't see any marking or anything of you layering the foil. After the book cools down, you can start by shimmying the pages around as I'm doing right now. This will help with the unsticking of the pages. I recommend to actually wait 24 hours before starting on the page separating process. By then the glue should be completely dry and it will make the process a lot easier. But since I'm filming this, I also didn't wait. But you can see right here that only after 15 minutes I can already start on separating the pages. But if I wasn't filming though, I would have of course waited the full 24 hours before doing this. But right now I just wanted to show you how the gilding still manages to stick to even the thinnest of paper. So I hope that answers the first part of the question. On to the next part. Can you put gilding over an already painted edge? The simple answer is yes, but you do have to wait at the very least 24 hours before doing so. The paint needs to be completely dry before attempting this. Otherwise, you'll have definitely a mess, just like this right here. So the first time around, I was super excited to put gilding over an already painted edge. It steamed dry at first, but it wasn't. So the gilding just wouldn't stick, as you can see right here. It has been a couple of months now, actually, since I painted this edge. And to be honest, the painting is quite crude, so I kind of left this project be. But now that the question came up, I kind of feel like this actually would be a great thing to hide this kind of ugly painting behind a nice gilding, which we are gonna do now. Now that the paint is completely dry, the gilding foil sticks to it no problem. If you bend the pages just the right way, you will be able to see the painted edge, but if you keep the book straight, it disappears behind the shiny red foil. And now on to the part 3 of the question. Can you put foil on rounded edges? So I had a hard time finding a book with rounded edges, but I did find this little notebook instead. So we go through the whole process again. Also, I actually recommend cutting the foil a little bit more to size. But at this point I was already getting tired, so I kind of got a bit lazy here, so just don't do that. So there are 2 ways of doing this. The first way, which I'm doing right here, is taking a piece of foil that's long enough to go over all the 3 edges of the book you're trying to gild. But if you're gonna do it this way, I do recommend to really cut the foil just slightly bigger than the width of the book, because this amount of foil was simply in the way most of the time and you're also wasting a lot of foil this way. I personally do recommend doing this with just 3 pieces of foil. That will save you a lot of headaches by trying to maneuver this giant piece of foil all around the 3 edges. So if you cut the foil straight enough and line up the cuts perfectly, you'll be able to seamlessly gild at the rounded edge. As you can see, the foil settled nicely on the edge, so yeah, I Hope this answers the questions. If there are any other questions, just leave them in the comments below and I'll try to answer them. But for now, until next time, bye!